Well, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. I'm Tom Sinclair, that VidBlaster guy, coming to you with another exciting episode of the show. Delighted to have a guest with me today. Warming up in the green room is Al Bunt, who Al was one of our very first guests way back in the summer of 2012. And the show that he did continues to be one of the most popular shows that we've ever done. So delighted to have Al with us. Al has upgraded his systems there at Good Shepherd Church and has got a video that he wants to share with us on that. If you're joining us for the first time, remember the premise for this, well, you can't remember it because you're joining us for the first time. But the premise for our show is that one guy with one PC and the right software can do a really awesome broadcast. You can take whatever you're passionate about and put it out to the whole world over the internet with one PC and some other stuff, you know, a camera, a microphone, a mixer, that kind of stuff. But a lot of it can be had, you know, through there's always a video camera in the house somewhere. You know, it's up in a closet somewhere, and it probably will work for streaming. And you can get a lot of really inexpensive equipment off of eBay and Craigslist and places like that for mixers and mics and things. I remember back when I very first started, I bought, I didn't know anything. Still don't know much, I'll tell you. But at the very beginning, I had I bought a mic online called I think it's called Nady, N-A-D-Y. It was of SP, which I believe stands for Star Power, an SP5. And it was, I don't know, $12, $15 good mic, truth be told. But I didn't have any experience. I didn't know. You have to start somewhere. And I got that in, and it worked okay. And I said, you know, I really need another one. So I went back to eBay, and there was somebody on there that was selling 3 of them for the same price that I bought my first one for. So I thought, well, that's a pretty good deal. I'll buy 3. You know, you never know when you may need an extra mic, because I was broadcasting sports and I needed one for each of the announcers, and then probably one for some stadium sound, that kind of thing. And then I said, you know, maybe I need some extras. And so I looked online and I found somebody that had a case of the same brand, same model of microphones that they were selling for, I don't know, $80. And they said there were 90 of them in the case. And I thought, well, hey, I'm not a genius, but I can figure this out, that I can buy that and then resell it and use the profits to kind of keep some of the mics for myself. So I bid on it. I think I ended up paying, I don't know, $105 or something plus shipping, or including shipping, to have it sent to me. And when the case arrived, there were like 112 mics in the case. They couldn't count. And what they were some sort of factory seconds, maybe blemishes on them or something like that. So I packaged them up, resold them on eBay, and, at one point got kind of crazy. It was buy one, get 9 free at, I don't know, $49.95 or something like that. And you'd be amazed at the number of people that wanted to buy 10 microphones. Well, I went back to eBay and found out that whoever was selling them by the case had several cases out there that were being bid on. So I bought all of them. I bought every single one. Nobody was going to outbid me because I knew what would happen. And I think when all was said and done, I probably went through 500 or 600 of these microphones and probably netted, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000 above my costs. And that allowed me to have some funds to begin my streaming adventure. And VidBlaster was a big part of that. And it's always nice to have a little money in the kitty to move forward on it. And if you're frugal and make good choices, you can have to have the latest, greatest, hottest equipment in order to have a really good broadcast. Certainly, this broadcast is a good example. I mean, the camera that we're using here is a Logitech C920. That's less than $100. We are using the VidBlaster Broadcast Edition, which is the highest edition of the software, because there's so many things that I like to do with it. I like to show off what it can do. That's the whole purpose of this show, is to show it off. Truth be told, full disclosure here, I am a VidBlaster reseller. So if you're interested in purchasing VidBlaster, you can purchase it through me in my store, that vidblasterguy.com. If you want to upgrade the version from version 1 or 2 to version 3, I can help you with that. And if you want to upgrade your edition from Home or Pro or Studio to one of the higher editions, I can help you with that. I'm happy to do that and provide absolutely top-level support for you in the meantime. So there's the little commercial right there. One of the interesting things that's going on in the VidBlaster world is something called the VidBlaster Benchmark. And that is a little software routine that allows you to test your PC to see how powerful it is compared to the kinds of power that VidBlaster needs. Excuse me. And so Mike Versteeg, the developer of VidBlaster, has developed this little benchmark. It's now in version 1.02. You can get a copy of it if you go to the VidBlaster forum. That's the URL is forum.vidblaster.com, and then just do a little search on benchmark, and that'll pop it right up for you. And the benchmark does all sorts of tests. It's still obviously, it's an ongoing process of dialing in this benchmark, but it's really been interesting since I use several different types of PCs to test the different PCs and see how they do on the benchmark compared to how they do with VidBlaster in the real world. So if you're thinking, VidBlaster might be good for me, but I don't know if my machine is fast enough or powerful enough for it, go to forum.vidblaster.com, search for search for benchmark, and then download it and give it a shot and see how it does. And you can post your benchmark results there too. If you have questions about that, shoot me an email, Tom@VidBlaster through it. It's not hard at all. VidBlaster is currently in beta version 3.22. And just a word about betas. Betas are the latest, greatest software that may contain a bug. I mean, that's a beta. It's in beta testing. But anybody that wants to can download a beta and try it out. Now, you can also download the latest official release version, which is, for the most part, we live in the real world here, folks. For the most part, those are bug-free. Occasionally, bugs will turn up, and then it'll go back to the beta, and then a new release version will come out later on. Version 3.22 has been out for about a week and a half. A couple of bugs were identified in that, including a bug in the playout controller that causes it, at least for some people, including me, to sort of bomb out. So if you use the playout controller regularly and it's working in the version that you're using, stick with it for now, and we'll keep our finger on the pulse to see how that bug gets straightened out. And when it gets straightened out, I'll be sure and let you know. That's version 3.22, latest beta. It's fun to play with the latest betas. In fact, last week, the version 3.22 had just come out, and I was, of course, you know me, I never take my own advice. My advice is, don't change anything in your hardware or setup right before you're going to do a broadcast. Make sure that it's just the same way it was when you tested it last. Well, I'm a guinea pig, so I'm going to break that rule. And I downloaded the latest beta, and I used it in last week's broadcast, and then had a problem and actually had to restart VidBlaster during the course of the first segment, that VidBlaster guy, and lost the recording. So let that be a lesson to you and to me to test whatever you're going to do before you do it. And I tried to do something on the fly, and there was a bug in whatever I was doing. Had to do with the playout controller, and it bombed out. And so, don't do as I say, not as I do. That's the advice right there. And let me make all the mistakes so that you don't have to. That's the theme of this show. Well, about a year and a half ago, I bumped into this guy from the I guess we would call him the Midwest or the North Midwest, Al Bunt. And Al is just an amazingly talented individual who has taken VidBlaster and turned it upside down and shook it hard and caught all the parts that fell out and put them all back together. And he knows this software inside and out. He is the macro guru, and he can make the program sing and dance. And Al, well, let me just bring Al in. Let me get some audio for Al and bring him into the show. Let's see here. We'll get rid of that. Al, have I got some audio on you?
I think you do.
Okay, very good. Welcome to the show. Folks, this is Alan Bunt, and welcome, Al. Glad to have you.
Good to be back. Been a long time.
It has been, and I think I mentioned earlier that the very first show you and I did together was on church broadcasting, and you had an outstanding video, and that video has had thousands and thousands of views since then, and continues to be that I've done. And hat tip to you on that one for sure. Thank you very much. But
I use it too. I use it for a little bit of consulting I do. I refer them to that also. So
awesome. But I understand that you have recently acquired a new camera. Tell us about this camera.
I picked up another Sony EVID 90 this time. My initial cameras, the two PTZs I have, are 4.5 years old, and they're the VID 70s. So in the grand scheme of church broadcasting that we've started here, I'm starting to upgrade slowly. And my initial plan by the end of the year is to have one more. So I'll have a total of 4 cameras.
And your setup is that these are PTZs, which means point, tilt, and zoom. Is that correct?
Pan,
tilt, and zoom.
Pan this way, tilt this way, and they'll zoom in and out.
Exactly. And those are remotely controlled.
That's correct.
And all the cameras will be controlled by the same control. What, you have a video, don't you, that shows this?
I believe so. It's the video of our recent upgrade, and kind of gives an overview of our whole layout here, and with the new equipment added in it.
Well, let me. Alan was good enough to send me this video earlier, so let me put it up here on the player, and we'll take a look. See, hang on just a second here.
Good afternoon. This is Alan Bunt at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. In this video, we're going to show you some recent upgrades we did to our video and streaming system and our video production system. I'll give you a short tour as I walk around our sanctuary here, and also of our video desk here. We've been running about 4 years before we decided to do some upgrades, and gave us more capabilities of showing video to our congregation as I shoot it from the cameras. So the congregation at certain times can see the exact same video that I'm sending out to you over the internet, which is real handy, close-up shots of the children's devotions and such. So our video system now of input and output of all sorts of video of different kinds of inputs, all from the video booth. Still a one-man operation. So just please stand by, and I will start showing you this system. And this is Good Shepherd Lutheran Church and School Sanctuary, and we're located in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. And that's right in the center of the state. And we've been recording and streaming online since 2009, using various pieces of software. Walk around the sanctuary here as we walk right down the main aisle. This is our projection screen that is currently hanging down. So I currently use 2 cameras. Actually, I use 3 cameras. I use 2 pan, zoom and tilt cameras from Sony, and I'm adding a 3rd to the bunch. And I do have an unboxing video of that camera at a different location. Well, let me swing to my left here, and you'll notice right up there on the wall, up there, I'll zoom right in on it, is one of the camera positions. This model camera is a Sony EVI standard definition, 480 by 60. 480 by 640 is what I meant to say, excuse me. You'll notice it's mounted up on the wall right close to the ceiling there. That particular camera gives me full pan from that position up to the front of the sanctuary and also over to the choir area over here. And I'll continue to rotate around to the back just to give you a quick update. This is my other camera at the back of the sanctuary. Same camera, just mounted inverted. That gives me full panning of the baptismal font here at the back and also out to the front of the sanctuary. To that right there. And when I come back, I will show you some shots from the video booth itself. All right, now we're looking at our video booth here. This is over on the east side of the sanctuary. So as you can see, these big bright windows here bring in way too much light. And that's the reason for the purchase of the new camera, so that I can control white balance and such. The third camera normally sits on a tripod right about there. That particular camera is what I'm holding in my hand right now, Sony Handycam. We're going to be retiring this camera just to use for potable usage like we're doing right now. And our third remote camera will be mounted up here. So I will have 3 different angles to the front of the sanctuary. This is our electronic organ. I also tinker with that a little bit. And on over here to our video box setup here. With the upgrades, I took and mounted the monitors up on some stands here, so they're up and out of the way of the box. This is my main monitor for editing and recording video and streaming. And that stand there holds a laptop, which has a direct feed into the projector mount. And I can also direct feed into my video capture system. This is my desktop. I've switched to wireless keyboards and wireless mice. I also have a small laptop there for running the chat room and also for remote control of the projector, which I'll show you in a little bit here. This is the same Behringer mixer that I've used since day one. It's been flawless, and I only use about half of its capabilities. This is the Sony PTZ remote. See if I can zoom in out here. This remote can control up to 7 cameras. I will be using it to remote the control 3. The PC, let me move this garbage can here. The PC on your right is the custom-built PC that I built for video capture, and we do run VidBlaster as video capture software. The PC on the left is for the organ, runs the organ in that software here. That is a Asus P6 motherboard. It's an old one. It's 4.5 years old, but we are able to run. It does have a i7 processor in it, and with about 6 gigs of RAM, and a couple of SSDs for storage. I have a total of 3 terabytes of storage on that PC alone, just for video storage. And I'm running Windows 7 Pro. On this side of the box, at the very bottom there, let me point to it here. This is a DVD recorder. I record live video right out of my capture software, right directly to a DVD. No post-production involved. Right above that, I have a Behringer compressor limiter gate. This is for some audio processing to keep my levels in sync. And let me see if I can get this camera down here to show you some of the new video equipment here. These are all Kramer tools for processing video directly to the projector over Cat5, and also there's 2 amplifiers there for 2 channels, and there's also a scaler that pulls off one of the channels that's to scale directly into my video capture machine. And I'll put up a short video clip here, or actually a short picture of the system in operation with all 5 screens going, showing the same video input, and it turned out pretty cool. Let me pause here just for a moment, and I'll go show you our shining achievement of our projector system. All right, back up here at the front of the sanctuary, pointing towards the back. This is our new projection system, built by Panasonic, LAN controllable. All the video inputs are transmitted via Cat5 cable, and with an amplifier on the forward end and receiver on this end, mounted to our ceiling, just in front of our front ceiling fan, so it's just enough clearance to clear it. Our video projector used to sit on a cart right here in the middle of the aisle every Sunday. It was always in the way. It was black. You could see it. Now we have full access here, and nobody bumps their head on the projector, and we can have projection on the screen here with Pastor standing right here, and it's not shining in his eyes. And this is the remote for the projector, so it can be remotely controlled from up here at front at the lectionary, like the lectern. I can also remotely control it with software from the video booth. And this is the same screen that we've run here. This screen is also remotely controlled to roll it up and not down out of the way in front of the altar. It's a little bright in here, so I apologize for the video quality. We are a congregation of about 300, and we've been streaming online, and we have a solid following of 20 to 30 viewers every Sunday. So I will pause here, and I'll be back, put the camera back in the tripod to close this out. And just to finish up here, this was a upgrade process that we spent more than a year on, budgeting and engineering, and with a gracious gift, we were able to accomplish it and improve our video production to both online viewers and our in-house congregation by almost 100%. I can do more with video now than I've ever been able to do. And it makes our productions even better and better every day. So with that, this is Alan Bunt from Good Shepherd Lutheran Church and School with our latest 2014 video production upgrade. Thank you for watching.
And you're welcome. Al, that was great.
Thank you.
I think we've lost your Skype feed here.
Oh.
It's frozen on this end.
And I might have lost a battery here.
But you look good. I noticed during the video that Alan was just really focused in, and I didn't realize that he wasn't moving. Al, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I made some notes as we went through and things that I thought were interesting. The Behringer mixer, is that the 1204?
Yes, it is. It's a 1204 previous to the FX.
Okay.
You have my audio back now?
Yep. We got audio and video.
Good.
You're all good.
It's the old hardwired version before they built in the USB. So I have a couple of the U202 USB adapters hooked up to it to plug into the PC.
Okay. Oh, so you've got more than one of those adapters.
Okay. Yes, I have 2 of them.
Okay. And now, for folks that don't know, what Al's saying is essentially the mixer is not a USB mixer. So in order to get audio in and out of the PC, he's got a little attachment from Behringer that basically takes audio in, audio out, and converts that into USB signals so that you can just plug it into a USB port. And so it's the equivalent of a, essentially, I guess you'd call it a 2-channel or a single-channel sound card. That is one audio in, one audio out. And you're running 2 of those out, so that means you're taking audio input from 2 different sources. That would be what? The organ and the sound system?
Well, actually, this old 1204 here, I'm actually using the regular analog input into my line in also.
Okay.
202. I'm using one 202 right now.
Okay.
For my blaster audio feedback through the mixer.
Right.
And then an additional one set up for eventually getting my Skype Mix Minus going. Gotcha. I don't have that currently hooked up at the moment.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'd be interested to see how two Behringer UCA 202s work. I've got one working, and I thought, oh, I wonder. Leave it to Al Bunt to push the envelope there and find out for the rest of us.
You've probably experienced the same thing I did. That I got curious one day and unplugged them and plugged them back in before a worship service, and nothing worked. So once you get them figured out, don't touch them. Well,
and what happens is they change their configuration if you plug them into a different port. And so if VidBlaster is expecting, the Behringer driver on port number 3 and suddenly it's on port number 4, VidBlaster's just going, hey, what's the deal, guys? There's no audio here. You told me there was audio here. And it doesn't work right. I also really liked your Sony controller. It'll handle up to 7 cameras.
That is correct.
That is future-proof. Wow.
With the more modern cameras, you can have up to 16 stored positions in each camera. Models of camera that I run, I can only run up to 6 per camera. That's 6 stored positions of where you have the camera set.
So you just hit a button and the camera automatically goes to that location.
Yeah, I have 2 cameras with 6 positions. So I have 12 camera shots just by pushing buttons.
That's great. And now I guess it's the kind of thing where you've got a camera shot established, and so when that shot is live, you're positioning the second camera so that you're not worried about zooming and panning during that. Okay.
I try to not move my video in the program window at all if I can help it.
Right.
Trying to think ahead and pre-program shots in the preview window and then switch them in.
Gotcha. Now the stream that you guys are sending, it's a standard resolution 640 by 480.
That is correct.
30 frames a second.
30 frames a second, and I'm only running about 500K up.
Okay.
Just to keep it available for everybody that way.
Sure.
And just using the Decast HTML stream, just streaming one source.
Okay. Okay. And you're using Flash Media Live Encoder to do that?
Yeah, I'm using the native in the streamer out to a Flash Media server.
Right. Okay.
HP or the H264 codec.
Right. Okay.
It plays on the iOS and everything else just fine that way.
Right. Now, you mentioned in the video that you had actually built the PC that you're there. Will you share the specs with us, or is that a proprietary secret?
They're so old, I'm ashamed to admit it, but it's an old Asus P6.
Okay.
When the i7s first came out, that was the first motherboard built for it. I can't remember the speed on it. I think it's an 860.
Okay.
I can't remember. I have it in front of me, but it's quite old.
Okay.
And it still works great. With I got 6 gigabyte of RAM. I never run on a RAM. With 5 camera inputs and 2 overlays, 2 video effects, 2 players, output module, and streamer and a recorder all going at the same time. I average 40 to 50% CPU usage across the board.
Wow, that's great.
I'm not going to change it. It's performing wonderfully.
You found the sweet spot and you're sticking with it.
I think so. I started out on Windows Vista, believe it or not. Yuck. But Windows 7 has been flawless for me.
Yes, yes. So you haven't ventured to Windows 8 yet, huh?
Nope, not going to either.
Oh.
My pastor runs Windows 8 on his laptop, and I do not like it.
I can understand that. My wife's got Windows 8 on her laptop, and she asked me for help, and I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't look like the computers that I'm used to working on. Gee whiz. Well, Al, we've done something a little different with this show. We've broken it up into 2 segments. The first segment is that VidBlaster guy, where we're pretty VidBlaster specific, And the second segment coming up here in just a few minutes is Streaming Idiots. I'm hoping you'll hang around and
Definitely do that.
okay.
Can I make everybody's eyes pop out real quick though?
Oh, by all means.
Take a look at my my macro window here, and to see if that gets you all confused how many macros I run. The first 12 there are just for one service. I've got more macros further on down that you don't even see there. So if you're interested in running macros, they're a lifesaver. I won't work without them anymore.
And of course, Al is referring to the macro capability built into the studio and broadcast editions in VidBlaster. Unfortunately, they're not present in the home and pro editions. So if you've got home and pro and you're getting excited by macros, you're going to have to save a few shekels and upgrade your edition in order to get that. All right, cool, Al. Well, thank you for sharing that. And sit tight. We're going to come back to you here in our next segment.
Good to see everybody again.
Whoops, there we go. And so Al is he is just the macro king. And if you're watching us live, we hope you'll stick around. We're going to close out this segment, but we hope you'll stick around for the next segment. And he's got a neat unboxing video about the Sony EVI D90 that they just received there at the church. This has been That VidBlaster Guy, and I'm Tom Sinclair. If you've got a question about VidBlaster you think I can help, shoot me an email, tom@thatvidblasterguy.com. If you want to purchase the software, go to thatvidblasterguy.com, and there's a store there, and you can do that. If you have questions, though, just give me a holler. I'm happy to help. And let's see, what else do I have to tell you? I guess that's about it. But thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us in YouTube, and you can follow us on Twitter, VidBlaster Guy. So we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.